Hey, it's Aaron, and today I'm inside a 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe. So the Grand Cherokee is brand new for 2022, fifth generation of this vehicle, completely redone. The 4xe is also brand new. That is the plug-in hybrid of this vehicle. So, I already did an exterior video. I talked about all the powertrain stuff and all of that, so I'm not going to rehash it here. I will just reference that vehicle. You can find it in the description down below, or that review, whatever. You get what I mean. But there is a fair amount of stuff to cover on the inside here. Again, the interior is all new, so let's talk about that. We'll do the usual walkthrough, right? So we start somewhere over at the door. This review brought to you by reading, because writing and arithmetic are overrated. So over here we have some, here's your door locks, window locks, and the windows, of course, and then the side mirrors and adjustment. You fold them in with this little button right here. Up here is the door handle. This is not a door lock. Just wanted to point that out because it kind of looks like it could be one. Over here's your seat memories. Up here, seat massage. Massage. Anyway, seat massage. Over here, first to the vents. Coming down right here, you'll see lighting. So, kind of self-explanatory. I've been leaving it on auto, which is all the way to the right, which is very convenient. You don't have to look when you turn this. So you can turn it. You can see it's off right here. Marker lights, headlights, auto. Over here is your dimmers. So you have dimmers for interior lighting and dimmers for your instruments and infotainment and so on. Over here you have some buttons that are exclusive to the hybrid. So you can put it in hybrid mode. That basically says use the engine or the electric motors, whatever is best for my situation. You can force it to electric. Now it will not do that. Right now it's telling me it's temporarily unavailable because the battery level is too low. So then it will go back to hybrid. Over here is save. So if you have a full battery or a mostly full or any kind of battery amount, you can push this and e-save. So that will mean that it won't use it until you turn that off, which gives you a chance to say not run the engine when you're like pulling into a garage or in another situation where you don't want to have any sort of noise. Now I will point out the little 4-cylinder engine in this thing is not terribly loud anyway. So unless you're like unless you really want to show off your electrics, I don't know why that's worth it. But anyway, over here is your fuel port. Now that is only opening the fuel port. The port for the plug, you just push it and it pops open. So there you go. Now let's move to the steering wheel. Over here is basically your driver information screens. So you have menu button right here. You have your telematics, telephone stuff up here. And then you have up and down, back and forth, and OK. So what that does is the stuff on that driver information screen changes around while you're doing this. I'll show you that later. Over here is the cruise control and stuff. So you turn it on right there. Then you have lane keeping right here. Distance is up there and down here. So you go more distance, less distance, right? You can set it. You can resume right there after you've canceled right there. And then you can add or subtract right here. On the driver screen, when you turn that on, I don't think it will function because I'm not in gear. Nope. Yeah. So when I turn it on, there we go, it turned on. But it's not showing it because it's not set. So I don't think I can, it won't let me do it. So anyway, down here is where it will show you your cruise control is on, right? That's what that, and then this has the lane keeping and so on and the distance setting. And then it will show you right here what the miles are. So it's a tiny little number, so you have to know where to look for it. That's why I'm pointing it out. And then you can adjust that with this, so you can speed it up or slow it down. Now, paddle shifting, and of course, because it is a Jeep, Chrysler, etc. product, there is a toggle switch on the back. Let me see if I can actually just show it sort of right there. There's one on either side, so there's one over there. That one, this one controls the station or whatever, or track, and then this one controls the volume. Then you have your dongles. We'll just start with this one. For some reason, the sun has decided, hey, you moved where I'm not, so I'm going to move so that I am there now. So I'm going to have to move this car in a second just so I can try to block some more sunlight. But anyway, here you can see the first of the dongles. The middle part right here is what runs the rear window. This twists for the front. And then you have your, how aggressive it is how far you twist it. And then you pull it to squirt the front, push it to squirt the back. That's it for that one. Over here, you have your signal turns up and down. That's the order you use them in. You signal and then turn. Then you have brights back and forth, just like every other car on the planet. Now, before I get into the instrument cluster, I'm going to try to move this so I don't get so much glare, because really annoying. Okay, instrument cluster. I have successfully moved the vehicle so that there's not a whole lot of sun. There's still some over on that side, but it's not bad. It's not like it was. How's that? Okay, so instrument cluster. Most of what you're seeing here is one screen. So this is kind of your, because this has a head-up display, I didn't really need this, and it was more useful to have this kind of efficiency numbers in front of me. So that's kind of what I stuck with. Now over on the right, you can see that's the amount of battery that's left. It's 1%, almost nothing. And that's how much range that will give you, which isn't anything right now. Maximum range on this is listed at 25. I never got better than 21. So there's just sort of a FYI right there. Fuel economy, this is showing 21.5, but I drove around town a lot. I was able to just get slightly over 24 miles a gallon when I did my freeway test. And I think that's probably what the paperwork says, if I remember right, for what the EPA rates this for the highway. So there you go. Anyway, you can flip through this screen. So if you remember the buttons I was showing you before, you can go through some stuff on this screen and look at all kinds of things. So here's some settings that are really cool. I especially like the suspension, which lowers and raises, and also levels a little bit, which is kind of cool. And then the back and forth, so you can see down on the bottom, it has back and forth showing you that there's a couple of other options. So you can go through those like that. Right? So this stuff is kind of good when you're off-road, but honestly, this is not a serious off-road beast. It's a good one, but it's not serious. This is the Overland model. If you really want to off-road, I would suggest that you get one of the more off-road ready packages. But here's some temps and stuff. If you really want to know what's going on with your vehicle, every so often it's useful to check that stuff. And here is a tachometer and speedometer for those who don't opt for or use a head-up. So there you go. There's a bunch of good stuff in here. I really like these screens. There's the music, there's back to that pitch and yaw, and so on. So there's a blank screen if you don't want to see anything. Just kidding, that's the maps. But anyway, so that's kind of what's going on in there, and it's useful information. Always on the screen is this over here, which shows the direction you're pointing and your battery, and it will move down as you charge it and move up as you use it. Then down here you have your engine coolant heat. Over here you have your fuel level, and then of course your battery stuff that I showed you before. Cruise control is still on. I hadn't turned it off, so I could do that to turn it off. And yeah, estimated ranges. So I have an estimated total range of 305 right now. That is based largely on what's going on here. So I never reset this trip, so not all these are my miles. I didn't see a reason to bother resetting that trip because I do fuel economy, using gas receipts, and the electric was just, I drove it around and eventually the electric ran out, and I just did that 2 or 3 times this week. I charged it, drove it around. So there you go. Then over here, start buttons right there. Now, infotainment. Well, let's go right above it first. Up here, you got some kind of neat stuff. Here's your battery button. Works similar, so you can do that, and it will show you, it will give you maximum regeneration. So what happens is, when you start slowing down, it will act sort of like an engine brake in a diesel truck. So it will start really aggressively slowing you down and putting a lot of power back into the battery. That's a good button to know where it is. This is your lane keeping, turn it off. Over here is your squirrely button if you want to turn off traction control for some reason. Duke's lights. Whoops.
Back.
Duke's lights, and this is your radars. So if you go through the car wash or something, you want to turn it off right there. Sometimes even like a drive-through or somewhere where it starts going off because you're close to a wall. Anyway, that's how you turn it off. And then over here, this is the on-off button for the passenger side screen. I'll talk about that in a minute because I have a lot to say. Now, let's come over here. This is your main infotainment screen. I don't know why it's on ESPN radio. I think I accidentally hit that button a second ago, and that's what happened there. Yeah, because the radio came on, so it must have been what happened. But anyway, so there you go. Now you can listen to some not garbage country music. How's that? Anyway, so this is basically the media screen, right? The home screen is, I just reset this stuff, so the home screen is not set up, but you can put whatever you want in here. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff. So you can say, I want to add a widget, and I want it to show me like some shortcuts, or what my schedule's got going on, or what just happened on my phone recently, or is a favorite on my phone, etc. And then these, same difference, they're all shortcuts. So you can say, look, I want my media right there, I want my media controls right there, I want my nav right there, whatever. And you can fill these in however you wish. This is the new Uconnect 5 system. We've seen it in several other vehicles. So there you go. I will point out, occasionally it's really slow to respond. Not all the time, just occasionally, usually when I'm switching from one type of media to another. So it will be slow to go from, say, streaming Bluetooth off my phone to going to, say, satellite radio. Otherwise, it's usually okay. Occasionally, this screen also takes a minute, just like it is right now. It takes a minute to load. See? That's what I was talking about. This is sort of the comfort screen, not really the climate, but kind of. If I turn the climate on, you can see what's going on, what it shows. It's not a whole lot. So most of that you're going to be controlling down here. Whoops, down here. So, but this is useful because you have your heated and vented seats for both sides right there. You also have massaging seats. Hell yeah. Part of the Overland package. And then rear climate, if this was a tri-zone, right? So you can control all of that from here, which may or may not be useful. Then you have nav, phone, and vehicle settings, also worth looking at. So lots of stuff you can do here. So you can kind of control what's happening on that passenger side screen, and you can look at some cameras and some other stuff. And then apps. This is the stuff that comes with this, and then you can install more via your phone if you wish. So this has Amazon Alexa and a couple other things already built in. Pretty neat and really cool. So beyond that, let's go down here. These are hard buttons that are useful for everything. I love hard buttons because they're fast and easy. So this mutes the radio. This turns that entire screen off. This is your bun warmers and bun coolers. Both light up this bar here. They just change. What's lit up is different. So bun warmers look red. Bun coolers look blue. See? Easy. Steering wheel heat. Same bun warmers and coolers over here. Tuning button right there. turn the screen off just because you don't want the screen, right? But you don't want to mute it. So that's a useful button to know. And then down here is all of the stuff you expect for climate controls. These are really useful. And if it's cold enough outside, these will turn on automatically if you remote start the car, FYI. Jeep has been doing that for a few years. One of the few companies that thinks of those sorts of things. Down here is USB ports. So this is 4 of them. There you can see 2 USB-Cs and 2 USB-As. And an HDMI. The HDMI is actually used for that passenger screen up there. You can plug a device in here, play video up there. 12-volt plug. It happens to be wireless charging down here, but it's a great place to throw your phone whether or not you use that. Then you have some more stuff. Here's some drive modes. This is how you control your 4-wheel drive system. It doesn't have a formal like 4 high, 4 low, whatever button or dial or anything. You just use this. So you toggle up and down with this. You tell it what mode you want to be in. Auto is probably going to be your most common. You can try sport. It will make it a little sportier to drive, but not by that much. Snow mode, I didn't get a chance to try because we haven't had any snow yet. But sand and mud I used when I did the walk around video and a few other things. I went and just, cruise around in the rocks and sand up, well, it's Wyoming, so it's everywhere. And then you have just pure rock mode, which will also automatically raise your airbags. This is the airbag system. You can control it right here, so you can raise and lower the vehicle manually. Different drive modes will do it for you. So sand and rock will be somewhere in the middle. This is parked. It drops all the way down, so it's easier to get in and out. Next level up is your average driving level, so that it will raise it up just slightly. It's I don't know, it's maybe I'd be surprised if it's 3/4 of an inch. And that's your regular driving mode. This controls, of course, the transmission. So that's your drive, park, etc. And then, where was it? There it is. 4-wheel low right here. This is when you're seriously off-road and you want to engage for the transfer case to 4 low. You have to be stopped to run that, by the way. And then this is hill descent. And this is a reset button. So, yeah, there you go. A little bitty. Down here, you have a bougie cover. You can pop that open, drink holders, and that's it. It doesn't move around or do anything else, so you just have a bougie cover, and then you don't. And then right here, you have a decent little storage bin with an LED light in it. And then there's this one for the top part, and there's 2 separate buttons. There's one right here and one right here. 2 separate levers to open and close it. Then you can see the seating. This is the faux leather, part of the Overland package. You can see Overland written in it right there. And then you can see the wood inlay and the other stuff. Now, passenger screen. 2 things I want to note about that. One, my kid loves having that. He plays with it. He likes to look at the vehicle cameras because on that screen they can show no matter what the speed of the car is. So you check out the vehicle cameras. You can set navigation from there, and then it will send it over here to the driver. So navigation can be done on the go by the passenger. And then if you plug into that HDMI, you can play videos and stuff on there, which is kind of neat, especially for like a road trip and stuff. And then you can. If given, all of these are dependent on the driver saying it's okay. So you can toggle it all over here. You can even toggle whether or not that even can turn on. And then at the same time, that can tune the radio, although I don't know why you would bother because you can just do it here. But if you have a phone connected, you could Bluetooth off of it either way. And then this has the Macintosh stereo, which is bomb diggity. It's awesome. Now, huge downer to that screen. You see the reflection and glare right now? That is almost constant with that screen. Glare's coming in all the time and bouncing into my eyeballs on the regular from that screen. Highly, highly annoying to me. And it's always in flashes. It's never continual, right? So it's always like bing, bing, right? It's really annoying. So That's a huge downer to that. If I owned this, I would probably cover that screen up all the time. Then you got your glove box and stuff. And then I got a couple of things that I need to show you that are also pretty cool. Up here, this mirror can be, you can flip it back and it's a regular mirror, flip it forward, and it's this camera-based one. I love these camera-based mirrors. They're really cool. You get used to them really quick, and they're highly useful because you don't have to look through the cabin. Nothing's blocking your view. Really great. You do have to get used to the fact that everything in that looks way closer than it does when you're seeing it in that. But other than that, it's great. Then up here, you have a whole bunch of buttons. Open the rear hatch. You can do like lighting, right? So you can don't turn on the lights just because somebody opened a door, that kind of thing. You have your assistance and SOS buttons. This is for the panoramic sunroof, the controls for that. And then, of course, your little lights for these right here. And hi, other camera. I found a new place to mount that camera. I thought it was cool. Anyway, back seats. I did a better look at the back seats in my walk around, but I'll just point out they are not as big as I expected. I really expected to have more room back there, so that's kind of a bummer. But cargo space in this, I'll just show you a picture. Cargo space in this, friggin' gigantic. It's huge. There's tons of cargo in this thing. That's awesome. So, yeah. Basically, that's the interior. When you plug this in, there's some lights on the dash so you can visibly see from outside the car what the charge state is. A couple of little things like that. But for the most part, it looks like any other Grand Cherokee except for the blue toe pins and the blue highlights on most of the badges going around the vehicle. So really, really cool. I like where this is going. I don't think this is the end point. I think this is a beginning as far as how this vehicle is working as a plug-in hybrid. I think there is lots of room for improvement. I talked in the other video about how it feels kind of sluggish to drive around at the lower speeds when it's mostly electric. And I think most of that comes down to they're using the same motor, I believe, that they use in the Wrangler 4xe. The Wrangler is a much lighter weight vehicle. I think that the motor for this, the electric motor, is just slightly not big enough. It just needs to be slightly bigger than it is. I think that's the way to say it. So other than that, though, this is a great vehicle. Price-wise, not cheap. But this is Jeep considers this to be a premium level vehicle. So it's a luxury low end, right? And then you go to the Grand Wagoneer, that's serious luxury. That's where it's competing with like Cadillac Escalade, stuff like that. This would be competing more with, say, Buick or possibly Genesis, somewhere in that area of luxury competition. So nicely done. And yeah, it's a great vehicle. So I think that's it. I'll just quit yapping. I'm done. This has been Aaron, 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe. Talk to you again soon.
Subscribe.